Good morning. Sorry, I got a little bit of frog in my throat this morning, but it is let me see, day 37 of Duncan's devotional. And our subject today is about your calling and your purpose, and my calling, my purpose, right? And the scripture is basically coming from, well, I don't have one scripture. I actually have a bunch of scriptures, but it's about David and Joseph and their lives when they had callings and when God had a purpose for them. But the title is basically seasonal calling. And basically, what I'm looking at is when God puts a calling and a purpose on me or you, it doesn't always pan out immediately. Right. And I just remember, for example, when I went to my first writers conference and I called home and they were like, "How is it?" I said, "I found my people. They think like me. They act like me. I'm not on an island by myself anymore." But at the time, I didn't know I was pregnant with my fifth child. So I get back home and I've got all these things I have to do for my book. I have an editor who's interested in me helping their publication. And I'm like, I'm pregnant with number five. And I remember my mentor saying, "Crystal, your first calling is those children, those five children." So I already knew my spiritual gift was teaching and exhortation. And the way that it is revealed is through speaking, writing, and teaching. And so what I found is I shifted, and again, I'm still doing some writing, things of that nature, writing some Sunday school lesson, things of that nature. But my primary ministry was those five children, and at the time, marriage. And so that's where I poured myself into. But it was a season. So if we look at Joseph, you look at Joseph at 17, he was sold as a slave to Potiphar's house, not knowing he was going to go to jail. And so he goes from Potiphar's house to the prison to the palace. His calling, his purpose was still there, but you see the fruit of his calling at Potiphar's house. Potiphar, he came in, Potiphar said, "Only thing I have to worry about is what I got to eat." And of course, my wife. And then at jail, he put him in command, and then Pharaoh put him in command. Same with David. David was anointed king. And after he was anointed king, he didn't go straight to the palace. He went back to the sheep. And then he goes from shepherd to musician to being on the run to being anointed, right? And so all of us have these seasons of calling, and it doesn't take away from your calling. It's just a matter of us saying, "Okay, Lord, what do I need to do now?" And so one of the things, there's like three B's I have. First of all, we got to be patient. We can't rush the calling. We can't rush it because Joseph had to go through what he had to go through to be second in command to Pharaoh. He had to be in charge of a house, in charge of a jail, and then in charge of the country. And David had to learn to manage sheep, manage being on the run, manage people who were following him. And then he became king. And the same with us. My first was managing the home, then managing as a single mom, then managing as an empty nester, and then managing full time ministry. I didn't get there from day one, but day one, I knew this is where I was going to go. So, whatever your calling is, you might know day one, but you might need to go through those seasons. The second thing is be listening and learning that God will use some of the struggles and trials that you have right now to use it moving forward. And sometimes we're like, "I just want this trial to go away, God." And God's like, "I'm using it to grow you and mature you so that you could be more used for later." And then last, be thankful because God will always provide what we need when we need it. And be patient, be listening, and be thankful. So I pray to God that you are blessed by this and that you have a wonderful day and keep going. Do the work. Keep on keeping on. Bye for now.